So if you're out there running a business or thinking about getting into business or real estate and you are going to run it at the optimum level, right? That means, when you're in your car and you see the gas, how much fuel is being used versus how many miles you're going, the car doesn't always run at 50 miles per gallon. And sometimes it's 50 miles a gallon, and sometimes it's 10 miles to the gallon. But if you think that you're going to get in business or even in real estate and run your business at 50 miles to the gallon at the most, at the maximum optimal level at all times, you are going to be in trouble. Because if you're depending on your business to run at the optimal level, if that's the only way that you are going to be able to have a positive cash flow, you've already lost. If I could just get through to you today. So tonight I'm going to be talking about how do we run our business not at 100%. Dan Kennedy, my mentor, which I'm going to be talking about a lot tonight. Dan Kennedy talks about how you only get 80% out of people. The most we're going to get out of anybody, the maximum that we get out of people is 80%. And you can't be mad at it. And look at our businesses also at giving us possibly 80%. If you can only live at 100% of your business running, you're going to be in serious trouble. Dan, what would you say to that, brother?
I caught the end bit of what you were just saying. If you don't I just want to make sure I understand what you were meaning.
I want to talk to the people tonight about not having to run their business at the most optimal level to be able to cash flow. If you are depending on 100% of your business to work at all times, you're already in trouble.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you because it's impossible to run at 100% all the time. It's not impossible to hit 100%, but it's impossible to maintain 100% all the time.
Impossible. It's impossible. And I just wanted to tell, because as we're in an economic contraction right now, we're not in an expansion. Everybody would agree, Dan. Everybody knows it's real skinny. We have to figure out ways to make our businesses work at 70%, 80%, because I have vacancies. I have tenants that stop paying. These things happen. But how do we hedge against that? And further, how do we keep acquiring? Dan, I'm going to show you a house I'm buying today. You're not going to believe it. I bought it Friday. You're not going to believe it. I love when I talk to Dan about creative finance and he goes, yeah, you ain't doing that here. You ain't doing that here.
I used to say that no more.
Oh, yeah? So obviously Dan has done all type of deals, but Dan, just tell the people why it's so challenging to do the type of deals that we do in your market in New York, real quick while I pull this up.
So where Chris is at, in Virginia, one, the price points are less. Two, it's not such a litigation state. Like when I go to a closing here in the city of New York, you have myself, you have my attorney, you have the title closer, you have then the attorney for the bank may not be in the room, but is on the phone. And then you have for the seller, rather, that's financing for them.
Mm-hmm.
You have the title expediter, you have the attorney for the seller, and then you have the seller. It's on average 7 people. Whereas Chris doesn't experience that. And neither do I with my properties in Florida, right? So attorneys in New York would probably kill a subject to deal like this. Not probably, they do all the time. Or they'll say, I'm not going to represent you. Or they'll say to the seller, I'll represent you, but you got to sign this piece of paper saying that I advise you not to do this. Right.
On a creative finance deal?
Oh yeah, all the time. So, I've had attorneys make my commercial tenants sign that document when they see my commercial lease.
So the tenants. I put the wrong file up here. So y'all, let's talk about before I get to what's going on. Put your name, Travis. What up? Put your name and where you're chiming in at as we approach these holidays. I'm 50. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, y'all. I can't with so many just hundreds of
Hey, it's
comments.
your
Thank
birthday,
y'all
Chris?
so
I didn't
much,
know
man.
that, brother. Happy birthday.
Thank you, brother.
Happy birthday. When's your birthday? Today?
It was Friday. So
50 years old, bro. So you are half a century old. You old, man. How's it feel to be a half a century old?
I gotta tell you, I'm feeling it. I gotta tell you. I do feel it. I feel a little sleepy today. But I'm honored, y'all. Thank you
Chris, put
guys.
up the 800 number they could call in. Toll-free number.
Oh, 757-204-1332. Y'all give us a call. Get your questions answered. Dan Borrero.
757-204-1332. You could call into that number and you could get your questions answered. You have guys, we're keeping it to 5 minutes, but just think about this. Chris and I charge a lot of money for mentorship or for consultation, and you'll be getting that for free. You could call in right now at 757-204-1332. Um, and that will definitely give us your questions because we're here to serve you tonight. That's what we do every single Sunday night. Am I wrong, Chris?
We are here for you guys every Sunday, and we have opened up the Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide. That links in the video description below. If you want to see if it's a fit for you, and this is the time you need to be getting educated. If you think, Dan, I was reading some of my training, Dan Kennedy, about people that think they're going to get a renovation done fast. They think they're going to get it done cheaper. That's what I was talking about. Running your business at an optimum level. It just doesn't work if you're depending on everything to go right. I mean, why do you know?
Yeah, I'll share with you guys. I bought a co-op in one of the boroughs here in the city, and I know I'm always saying never buy in the city, but this was such an incredible deal that I couldn't pass it up. But when you're dealing with a co-op board, I can't just go in and work the way I would normally work. I got to work according to whatever the rules are that are in those bylaws. And I had to, right now I've gone as far as I could go without getting the next approvals from the board, and that doesn't happen overnight. So I just literally called up my guys on Saturday and said, "Hey, you're not going to this address on Monday. You're going to this address on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday." And then, well, what are we going to finish that other job? I says, "Well, when I'm at their beck and call, I'm at their mercy, right?"
Mhm.
So we never know, people. You know,
Yeah,
this is
we got Coca Lacas on here. Look at
do we
that.
really
What up?
tell
Coca
them to come on
Lacas.
live with us?
Coca Lacas, you want to come on with us, brother? I'm gonna email you the link if you he's probably hanging out with his family and stuff.
Nah, man, send him the link. I would
Coca
love for him to
Lacas.
come on.
Yo. Let me see if I can find it. Coca Lacas, I'm gonna send you a link to your email if you want to come on. Or you can just call in if he ain't. Oh, how do you even do this? I haven't talked to him in forever. When the last time you talked to Coca Lacas, John?
I
I mean,
spoke. I
no,
spoke. I speak to John Kakalakis more often than you do because I've been using him as an attorney.
you talking the most down to earth attorney out of all the sleaze, slime, scumbag attorneys out here. This guy is really cool, man. How do I invite
Tell him
somebody?
how we met John Kakalakis.
Y'all, all of us paid a ridiculous amount of money to be in the room together. We all paid to be there together. So when we were in that room, all of us were like, you know what, shit, I paid thousands. I know you paid thousands too. So we might as well get to know each other, right? I mean, you right there. We're eating dinner. Man, we had dinner with each other. Oh, invite. I'm sorry. John, I'm going to email you this invite link. He probably with his family or something. If he wants to come on with us. I'd love to hear what he thinks about that new mayor up there. He's got to be too politically correct. He's got to be politically correct.
Anybody want to think? You want to know what we think about the new Mandami, the dummy? In
That's
New
what y'all
York
calling
City.
him?
Put it
What's
in.
his email, Dan? Coca Lacas.
How could you not have John
Oh, I
Kakalakis?
got it. Coca Lacas desk.
Frederick Walker says, "What's up, fam? Happy birthday, Chris."
Yo,
I
yo.
better get as many happy birthdays as Chris is getting in April.
Can I have something? I can't have nothing. Dan just All right, y'all. I want to show y'all. Oh, first I wanted to start off with that running your business on 80% and not trying to run it on 100%. What we do to hedge against what we call it stable conditions is we partner with the government. I cannot stress to y'all enough. I am living proof. I'll never forget when I was years ago, I used to see these huge hospitals getting built in my area, Dan. And then I'd look in the newspaper and do you know that they had won grants? These are $100 million grants, $50 million grants from the government to build these hospitals. And I'm like, man, if these guys can do this shit, why can't I do it at a smaller level? That's why I'm such an advocate for Section 8. And now, as we move into the mental support business, the developmental, disabled and developmental business, because that is where the government will supplement your income. Now, Dan used to do this. They changed the rules. I mean, Dan is an advocate. He just doesn't do it anymore.
So I used to do it heavily in Staten, rather in Little Egg Harbor in New Jersey. But Governor Christie came in, which surprised the hell out of me with this Governor Christie, because he was a Republican, is supposed to be less government, and he created a whole new department to oversee those non-for-profits, and then how those non-for-profits would be paying that rent. And every year it just got more regulated, to the point where it became so regulated where it no longer made sense for me to do it anymore. All right. So,
But that's indicative of your whole area, though, isn't it? The regulation, it's just everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's surprising that it came from a Republican governor.
Mm.
Right. So, um, again, it's good until it's not. And then you repivot and you reinvent and you readjust. And I want people to understand that real estate is just like any other business. I came from retail, and with retail, you constantly had to be reinventing yourself, because otherwise your competition would take you over.
Welcome to business, though. I mean, that's just nothing new. We got a question from CRX Gabe. What is your stance on the good cause eviction? First, what is a good cause eviction, Dan, and why do I
So
care?
it depends on which law you're referring to, the good cause eviction. If you're referring to the law, are you referring to the 2019 law in New York City, or are you referring to the good cause eviction in New York City? I would need more detail, because I could go in different directions with that.
Mm.
Um, you know, which law are you referring to, Gabe?
Gabe, let him know on that. For New York State. Gabe says for New York State, Dan.
New York State. The reality is that we are, so New York State in general is tenant friendly,
Ugh.
and I'm trying to be politically correct with the way I say this. Um, it's just the truth. But
I don't care.
here in New York City, it's even worse. I was speaking to, essentially what it says is that, just for let's say I'm evicting a tenant based on them not having paid rent, and they owe me 3 months. But by the time I get in front of a judge in New York City, they owe me 10 months, 10, 11 months. And then what happens is they say to the judge, I'm going for a one-shot deal, or I'm going for this program, whatever the name of that program is. The judge is going to give them the time to go get it. And sometimes they may come back, 2 months, 3 months later, say, well, they haven't given me a caseworker yet, or they haven't done this, or they haven't done that. They're always going to blame the organization that's supposedly going to be giving them money. Now, they could owe me, let's say, 18 months, and they come up with the money. I got to take it.
You got to take it, right?
I got to take it, and I can't evict them.
Mm-hmm. You have to take it.
Now, if I'm kicking them out on a show cause, basically saying, I don't like the color of their hair, it doesn't matter what I say. I don't even have to say anything. It's the end of the lease. I don't want to renew your lease. It's still going to take me just as much time. But I don't have to accept their money. But the way when the judge gives them more time, my argument to the judge is, you can't order me to give them more time, but not make them pay rent. But then what happens is they say, well, they're not going to pay rent because I haven't fixed certain things, and they're going to start breaking shit intentionally, or they're going to say that I didn't fix
Wow.
anything, but they're not going to give
Wow.
me access to get in, and then I got
Mm.
to prove to the court that they didn't give me access.
Nasty, 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 nasty. Dan, I can't believe you are still like
And
alive.
hence,
I mean,
no, the deal is this.
caller, 1 second. 1 second,
People
caller.
ask me, why do I still do this? Like Chris asked me. Well, the truth is, I don't go to court. I really, really go to court because of the vetting process that we put our tenants through, right? And we're not looking for tenants that are drama driven rather than solution based people, right? Personality traits, certain personality traits matter. So if you guys truly want to learn how to do this, because if I could do this in the toughest market in the country, New York City, and still become wealthy doing it and picking the right tenants, anybody could do this. Go to dankrisdeal.com, dankrisdeal.com, and sign up for the Ultimate Warrior, Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide. Become an Ultimate Landlord Warrior. Go to dankrisdeal.com.
Caller. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, it's in the show notes too. We just lost the caller. Caller, I'm sorry, he was on a call. I lost you. Listen, it's open right now. Go to dankrisdeal.com to register for the next Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide.
People ask you, how do you survive in New York City? Well, you got to be extremely diligent at who you pick as a tenant.
You're damn right.
You know,
That's everywhere. I don't hold up, man. That's not just in New York.
Right now.
That's
Especially,
everywhere.
look, I want everyone to know this. Everyone should be taking this mastermind class, and I'll tell you guys why. Chris, how many people do we have on here right now?
We got 25.
25. You know, dankrisdeal.com. The deal is this. You have the highest on you have we just lost another 80,000 jobs last month, according to ADP, because we can't go according to the government because they're not releasing it, what the unemployment rate went up to, right? So by some estimates this year, since January 15th, we've lost over 1 million jobs. So we also have the highest rate of car repossessions since 2008. We have the highest rate of delinquency, credit card delinquency rate since 2008. Right now, they're also estimating 20 to 30% of the entry job levels for people coming out of college are going to disappear because of AI. You have, for the first time in the history of our country, you have the average car price of over $50,000. So if people don't have money to pay their car loans, pay their credit cards, and we all know how much grocery bills have gone up, and we all know how much the electric bill has gone up, what do you think they're not going to pay next? Is your rent.
That's right.
So you better have down this vetting process down packed. So if you're a landlord or want to be a landlord, now is the time.
Better know what you're doing
to be part of this mastermind class.
You better know what you're doing. Period. You better know what you're doing. There is no second guessing this stuff. It's just if you second guessing, you're gonna be second guessing on the street. That was me in 2000. Remember in 2008, Dan, when the whole world was falling apart? Same thing. You better know what you're doing, man.
Guys, 2008, I added 2 more zeros to my net worth. And if it happens again in 2026, I'm going to add 3 more zeros. I'm going to go out. This will be my last hurrah. I'm 60. Yeah. I'm going to be 63 years old in 5 months.
Wow.
This is going to be my last hurrah.
I was still learning. I didn't get it down. So look, I want to show you. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
So look, y'all call in with your questions. Call back in. I guess I lost you. 757-204-1332. Call in with your questions. So look, this is a deal with I want y'all to see. You can keep buying real estate no matter what the market is doing, okay? I need y'all to understand that. So look, I want you to see the date. This is my birthday, the 4th. I did this on my birthday. Address, property, right there. Look who the buyer is, y'all. What do we do? How do we buy properties? And what? Somebody put in the comments. I'm not even gonna move forward. How do we buy our properties? What do we buy them in? Put them in the comments, y'all. In the comments. What do we buy real estate in? What do we buy them in? That's gonna be the buyer. That's me right there. Boom. There you go. Hey, Castillo, you got it, brother. Always buying a trust. You could do your LLC if you want. It doesn't matter to me. So I want y'all to understand. Here's the purchase price. Okay. And people say, well, Chris, what you're doing is illegal. Okay. They put this on the HUD. What do? We're buying the property subject to the existing loan. We took over the homeowner's debt. Their debt was $308,000. Y'all, I want y'all to see this. So the purchase price is that. I've been pre-approved because the bank of Kris Haskins said I was pre-approved. Thank you. Thank you. I got pre-approved for a $308,000 loan. No credit, no tax returns, no bank statements, no job history, no employment verification, none of that stuff, okay? So I did have to bring the closing. We gave the seller $6,000 and we gave him $9,000. I want y'all to see that. Okay. So we walked out of this with the deed. I'm going to do a whole case study on this, but I need y'all to understand this is how we continually buy real estate every day, regardless of what the market is doing. It doesn't matter. Why? Because if you can come up with $9,000 to buy a $350,000 house, all you got to do is come up with the capital. You don't have to worry about any type of bank qualifications because we're doing what? We're taking over the debt subject to right there. It's right on the HUD, y'all. It's right on the closing disclosure. I want y'all to get that, okay?
Chris, go back to that. I'm going to ask you some questions that maybe the audience is too afraid or maybe not know to ask you. What is the value on this property in its current state?
Probably worth about $315, $320.
Okay, so at this price point, scroll down if you don't mind. So let's say it's worth $320. You paid the market price, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and you're not getting a great deal on this, but tell them why it's still a great deal for you.
Here's the thing I want us to understand. Anytime I, at this stage in my life, can buy a piece of real estate and it's going to cash flow as well as I don't have to have any bank qualifying on the debt, it is just a grand slam for me. Where else in the world can you buy a house without turning in a bank application?
So does the audience, I'm not sure if the audience truly understands this.
I don't think, yeah.
Is it worth reglazing a tub to change its color pink to white?
We'll get to that one in a minute. Let's do this, then we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So I want people to understand, Chris is paying market price, but he's only into this deal. Do you have to do any cleaning and renovations, Chris? And what we
know what? I got the pictures. Let me show you.
No. Before you do that, what do you think you're closing? What were you closing? You gave them $9,000, and what's your closing on it?
I gave them $6,000.
$6,000 plus your closing. What were they?
Okay, let's do this. I'll show you what I did. So what line? They don't even have line numbers anymore on the stupid things. Wow. I gave the seller $3,000. Seller proceeds half. So here's what the agreement was. This $3,000. It was $6,000. $3,000 at closing and $3,000 when the property is vacant, broom swept clean. Okay. If they don't move out by January 2nd, then they pay $80 a month. So they needed 30 days. They needed the $3,000 to move, and then they needed 30 days to move out.
So it's $80 a day or $80 a month?
$80 a month, $80 a day after January 2nd if they are not out. That was our agreement.
Okay. So it's $6,000. And what is it going to cost you what's your closing cost?
Closing costs about $3,200. Okay. Because on these type of deals, y'all, you have to pay the seller's closing costs. If you're giving somebody $6,000, you're not going to ask them to take out $1,000 for closing costs. And just suck it up. Just pay their closing costs. I just paid it.
So Chris, someone's asking what's going to be the monthly cash flow. But before you answer that, let's just finish this. So you got a total of, let's say, $9,300 between the closing costs and the $6,000 you got to give the seller.
It's now, right here. Yeah.
What's going to be your renovation costs or cleanup costs?
Nothing.
So now I want everyone to understand, because Chris is going to put it back on the market as is because he's doing rent to own.
It's already. I sold it the same day. I'm not even good at go. They won't even believe me, Dan.
Okay, so you sold it already.
Yeah.
And so this deal cost you 9,300. And what did you sell it for?
I sold it for 20. I got 21,000. So I got 10,000 down.
Okay, so you're gonna be that's what's your profit then? 11,000?
11 grand we're gonna make on this.
Okay. But you're flipping it when? At the same day, at the same day?
Yeah, it's already gone. It's already gone.
So Chris, for a $9,000 investment, he made something like let's figure that out.
It's 100%.
It cost Chris 9,000.
Damn, they ain't gonna believe me, dog.
So Chris made over 100%.
Yeah, man. Well, really, it's infinite. It's infinite because I took their 21 and I paid for that. I have not. I didn't have. It's really infinite, Dan. I didn't spend no money. They came to closing with me and they brought 20.
So Chris made 122% return on his $9,000.
Dan, I didn't spend any money. I didn't have any money out. This is an infinite return deal.
Right.
I took their 21,000 and I paid the 9.
Now, Chris, question is, let's assume that you could have rented it. Would there have been cash flow?
Okay, so this is where I was talking about that running your business on optimal level. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, optimal. Dan, this is why I want people to. Man, I got so much to share. I'm going to the DR next week, right? We have got to figure out other ways to run this thing, man. I really think America, we're teetering on this thing, right? And Dan can feel it. I'm sure everybody's feeling it. So I'm really getting into this medical space, man. This shit is real. And I'm looking at other things and how stuff's moving. But the government is paying these tenants, y'all. They're making 10 times the amount of an ordinary rent. Dan was in it. I'm sorry that it didn't work out in New Jersey, but
it worked out great until it didn't anymore. It was good for about 5 years.
So you could pay off your house in 5 years with this.
Oh, I paid off all the properties with it.
Yeah.
All those properties. We had something like 30-something doors, and I paid all of them off with that program. So when we sold them, it was all profit.
All profit. So if a regular tenant, I wouldn't have any cash flow. I would probably make $500. But with this medical support, developmental disorder, I mean, the cash flow, you're talking 30, 40,000 a month. This is a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house, y'all. I cannot wait to do this case study. It's got a finished garage with a mini split in it already.
So now you said you were going to the DR. You're going to Dominican Republic?
I'm gone, Dan.
And that's for what?
These new guys, remember I told y'all, well, Patrick taught us strategic alliances, right?
Correct.
The guy that's doing this development disorder business, the medical support business, he's from the DR. He's got 100-acre compound in the DR. He lives in a 10,000 square foot house. And I just bought my family tickets. I have decided, like Dan, a few months back, I decided some days I'm just going to say yes to everything. So far, it's worked for me. I bought a house. I met a guy the other day. I said yes to everything he wanted. I met him. I ended up buying a house. So this new guy, John, I'm like, I'm just going to say yes to whatever. He goes, Chris, you want to come to the DR? Meet my family? I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go. Dan, I'm 50. What do I have to lose, man? Other than time. So I want to see how he runs his business over there. He's got hotels. He's got an egg farm. This dude he's got a chef. He's got security. He's got a private pool and 100 acres. So I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what, man, let me see what else is out there outside of America.
Good for you. So there's okay, let's get back to let's answer some questions here.
I got to show you all the pictures too. Y'all not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe it. Answer that question, Dan, about the tub.
Dan and Chris, is it worth reglazing a tub to change its color to pink? It is and it isn't. It all depends on who does it. I've done them. Sometimes it's horrible. Sometimes they last years. The truth is that it depends who does the job. It also depends on the tenant, because if the tenant,
Get out of here.
How are you?
Get out of here.
If the tenant is overweight,
close that door.
I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to say overweight people anything about them, but if they're real overweight, and if the tub's not cast iron, it will crack.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is if the tenant uses abrasive cleaning supplies like Ajax or steel or anything to do with like a steel wool type of thing, it will scratch and it will peel it. So there's several things that you have to keep in mind when you do the reglazing. Just keep that. So you basically wholesale the deal. I guess maybe Chris can answer that.
Hold up, Dan.
Um,
Before you leave that, before you leave that, Dan. Before you leave that, Dan.
I'm listening.
If you're flipping the property, Roba, is that Roba 9144? If you're flipping a property, no problem. But if you're holding on to it, I would never reglaze them. Dan, what do you think?
Um, I've reglazed property depending on the environment. I've reglazed tubs depending on the environment. If I'm going to put a whole new bathroom, if I'm not going to reglaze the tub, I'm going to just change the tub, and I'm not going to change the tub without redoing the whole entire bathroom. But if I'm not going to if the rent is settling down and they're going down, I'm not going to put more money into an apartment I'm going to get less rent for, which is what's happening literally
Mm-hmm.
right now to me in New Jersey as well as in Florida. So just keep that in mind, right? It all depends on your on the return that determines what I'm going to do with that.
Let me look at IG, make sure we ain't got any questions on IG. Sorry. Y'all, here's the pictures I wanted to show y'all of this property. The payment is $2,400 a month. The house is only, I think it's 13 years old. It's a new construction damn near. Look at this. Y'all, so this is what we call buying subject to. The flooring's new. Oh yeah, we do got to do. Now when we say we don't have to do anything to a property, under $5,000 falls almost under the category of doing nothing. I mean, that's like in real estate, that's because we deal with 50, 80, $100,000 renovations. The people are already moving out. Look at that flooring, man. Needs a little bit of paint. Kitchen just got a bunch of stuff in there. Look at this kitchen. Brand new granite. Flooring's good. Oh yeah. I'm getting the new refrigerator, French door.
Chris, now when you sold this property, are they going to pay off the first mortgage or are they keeping that first mortgage?
I'm financing them.
So you're financing it. Let's talk
Mhm.
about that. So
Yeah.
Chris is financing the deal, but not paying off the existing mortgage. They're paying
Mm-mm.
Chris every month, right?
Yeah. Well, they're gonna pay. It's a business venture, so I'm gonna stay in the middle. I'm his trustee, so I'm gonna make sure it all runs smooth. But remember, y'all, real estate and financing, they don't go together. So you could sell the real estate, right? And you can sell the financing, y'all. And that is where you really come off. So if I say, Dan, I'm gonna sell you this house for 300,000. Dan, he might be like, yeah. Why would I want to buy it? Because I'm going to finance you. I promise you, Dan's spidey sense is gonna go bananas, right? Because if he can get into a house like this for $9,000, dog, come on, and you got to pay me my fee. And I can even finance my fee if I wanted to. In fact, I did. I just financed my fee. I don't want to get into that with y'all. I got to keep y'all. So okay, here's the look at this, Dan. Look at this mini split in the garage. It's just crazy, dog. I'm looking at the garage. I'm walking through this house like, wow, man, this is unbelievable. This is the garage. So this is an entire new mental support bedroom right here, y'all, because it's got air conditioning and heat in it.
And I want people to understand. See, most people walk through a house like this and see a mess. When Chris and I walk through a house like this, we see money. We see
I didn't even see it.
we see like, man, this house is in great shape, right? New kitchen, new flooring.
Look at
Most people
this.
say, oh, the place is a mess. No, we see like everything that's good about it.
Man, I don't even see that stuff. And my eyes see all this right here. That's all I see. Look at this stove. We got a brand new stove, microwave, hot water heater is good to go. I got me 2 brand new washer and dryer. I got a washer and a dryer. They don't even want it.
Chris, someone's asking, what are the terms of the financing? Question mark.
6.6% interest rate. The payment's $2,400. I wasn't prepared to go over all this stuff with y'all, but I'm going to do a case study for y'all. The terms of the
Chris,
finances,
just a quick question. So it's 6 point what percent?
6.6.
Now the mortgage you're taking over, what's that percent?
That is that is the mortgage I'm taking over, 6%.
No, I'm talking about you said you financed this deal to
I
someone
just
else.
passed it all through. I just passed it all the way through to him. Yeah, it's basically like a wholesale deal, but I'm staying in the middle for management. So this is what I'm doing on a guy that's all right. Remember we talked about running mates, right? Dan is like a running mate for me, right? We're running mates because he throws me stuff. We do stuff. If I do something with Dan, I'm not just gonna just leave him out there, right? So I'm with John. I'm working with. This is his first subject to deal, so I'm staying on as his trustee. I'm just gonna make sure it all runs smooth. He's gonna make the payments. I get my little trustee fee, and I need y'all to get this right. So the more value I give Dan, the more value I give my friend John with houses, guess what that's eventually going to do for me? It's just going to come back on me, y'all, right? So stop trying to extract all the value out of deals. Pass some of this stuff on to other people, and then
Gotta leave
eventually,
some meat on the bones so that other people could eat.
yes, man, dude. Dan calls me. I never forget. Dan called me. He goes, man, you know what? Thank you for trusting me on this thing. And trust is a value too. Like Dan, I'm sure no doubt deals with guys that need money yesterday and today I need my money. Like I don't do that stuff. Like me and Dan deal with big money, right? I'm like, I know he's gonna pay me. You know, I don't have to call him. He's like, I'll never forget. He called me. He goes, Chris, thanks for not hounding me for that money. I'm like, I know you good. I mean, that's the type of people you want to be around. Guys that aren't constantly, and you can grow doing that stuff.
Question here: what if the person who's financing that house from you over the time property appreciates and they want to pull some equity out of the deal? How would they be able to do that?
The person that's buying it, let's just say it's me because I'm staying in it with the guy. If I want to do that, I'm going to put one of my private lenders on it, or we're going to go to a local bank. The traditional lender's not going to do this, and the mortgage broker, they won't touch it.
Yeah, a regular lender won't do that because the mortgage is under someone else's name still, the previous owner's name.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to do that.
You're probably going to have to pay off the first mortgage and then do a refi. On the refi, I'm assuming, Chris, the first mortgage would be paid and then you get the difference, correct?
Yes, but why would we ever, Dan? That's why I keep telling all my round up family, why would you ever want to refinance some debt that's not in your name? Why?
I want people to understand. Listen to what Chris is saying. What Chris is trying to say is when you run his credit report, that mortgage does not show up for any of his companies or in his name.
No.
Because it's still in the name of the previous owner.
Yeah, this is called buying houses subject to, and I'm gonna do a whole class on this, y'all. I'm gonna get done with the pictures, dance, and then we're done. I want y'all to see this. So deck, good to go. It does need a little bit of flooring upstairs. Look at this primary bedroom. Got tray ceilings. Look at this bathroom. Granite floor. Dan, does this fall under the realm of nothing to you?
Yeah, this is cleanup work.
It's just cleanup work. It's just cleanup work, y'all.
Yeah, this is getting, getting guys in there, start, repairing anything in the walls that need to be repaired, protecting the good floors, and then give this place a whole good paint job, minor repairs, whatever has to be, doorknobs that have to be tightened or hinges. And there you go, Chris, my man.
Dan, I'm walking through this shit. I'm like, holy shit. You can see my face. I'm like, Dan, we don't see houses like this. If we do, we're not able to buy them. I'm just like,
no, it's like we jump on those quick.
Yo, look at this bedroom. The walls, they might not be the best color, but I don't even got to paint. It does need a little bit of flooring here. That's nothing. That's nothing, yo. He has the flooring. That's that half. So this is a 3.5 bath. Oh, that's another house. I want y'all to get this, y'all. You can buy the property, leaving the homeowner's debt in place. Now I know it's going to take some time, but just kind of know that this is what we do. Okay.
So Gabe is asking, what are the benefits besides having a place to live if they can't pull out the equity when appreciates? If you don't mind, can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, man.
And of course, I
Gabe,
need
you need to call in, ask these questions.
yeah. Gabe. See,
Why don't Gabe call in?
this Gabe. There's two type of mindsets, right? Like when I refinance a property, I want to take out my original money, and I don't give a shit how much it goes up. I don't care how much it goes up because I'm never going to refinance it again because I'm going to pay off that mortgage and that more, and that's going to be cash flow from here to kingdom come. Now, if I need, because we're not of the mind, I don't believe that more is better. So in 2000, right before 2008,
less is more.
there were a lot of guys telling me that I was being stupid, or I was a fool because I wasn't taking out loans, maxing out all the equity I have in my buildings in Brooklyn.
Equity stripping, right?
Right. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Right. Those are the same guys that were on the balls of their ass, and I was buying their properties in 2010 and 2011 because they couldn't afford to pay their mortgages.
They said I was a schmuck, Dan.
And by the way, I still own a lot of those properties because I didn't sell them, and there's no mortgage on them now, right? So if I'm not concerned about taking equity out, I'm concerned that the property is going to cash flow and appreciate, because eventually when I sell it, it's going to be under my trust, and I won't have to pay as much capital gains because of certain things that we're doing. And if I don't sell it, my kids get the value on a step up appreciated amount, and they're not going to pay no taxes on it.
Ooh.
Well, I got years and years and years of collecting money on property I had no mortgage on. If you're so dependent that you need to refinance a property to go buy another property to renovate that property, then refinance that property, you're
doing it wrong.
You're playing on thin ice.
You're working backwards.
You're playing on thin ice. And there's a lot of guys that do that, and there's a lot of people on social media that want to push that narrative. And they're showing you the real nice cars, but they own dick. They own shit. They own nothing. The bank owns it all.
All right. Subject to the existing mortgage. There you go. We got somebody in Canada. Hey, Daniel. Daniel's in Canada. Why would someone want to buy a subject to home? Because the debt's not in your name, my friend. The debt's not in your name. The Hammonds, what's up? Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Good to see you.
How are you, Dana Hammond?
Hammonds.
They came up. They came up and visited us in Kentucky.
I know it takes time for people to understand. It takes time to understand subject to. We're doing 2 of these right now. But Dan, I want people just to understand that when you can finance, I'm in the business of selling financing. Yes, I'm in the real estate business, but you see that deal y'all just saw, I offered my guy financing. And when you tell you, people will love you. When you finance their properties, they will love you from here to kingdom come.
I've sold property financing it, me being the bank. And because I did that, I was able to sell it at a higher price.
I could have sold it a little higher, but I'm like, man, I'm just trying to I'm trying to establish a relationship with my guy from the DR, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let me give him value. And then when it's time for me to get into this developmental disorder business, I want to set this thing on fire. I know, Dan, I know you was killing it. I want to be exactly where you were, Dan. Yo, 5 of these.
I got to be honest, I can't wait for you to start because I like to see how it works so I can jump into it if it, and I don't care if it's in a different state.
Damn, this is unbelievable.
So there's a question here on Instagram. Do you recommend new investors to buy their first investment property free and clear? I can't tell you that. I would have to ask you so many questions because everyone's got different financial responsibilities, different risk tolerance, different credit reports, different income levels,
cash flow needs.
I'd have to ask you a lot of questions that kind of would be inappropriate. But in general, what I would recommend is put down 20, 25% down payment, and a lot of people say, "Oh, that's crazy," and I say, "No," because one, you're definitely going to get the mortgage at that point, which is a selling tool when you go to buy the property to that seller and say, "Yeah, you could go with John Smith, who's going to pay you 10,000 more, but you don't know if he's going to get the mortgage. I'm putting down
Hmm.
25%, 99%. I'm going to get this mortgage,
There
right?"
you go.
So, you know, I'm a guaranteed mortgage. I'm a lot more guaranteed than he is. And if you come to me, and I don't know if I'm still going to be available to buy this property if that deal falls through. You may not be able to come back to me, right? Um, then the other reason is because you don't have to pay that PMI insurance. Now that PMI insurance is like throwing money out the window as far as I'm concerned. But when you put that 20% down, you don't have to pay that PMI insurance.
That's true. Daniel in Canada, is it hard to get paid back from financing someone else's deal they bring to you? Depends on how you finance it. So for me, look at me. I didn't put up any money. I'm financing these guys with no money. I'm using the seller's debt to finance the buyer. Let me say that again. Hope you know what? You might not get it all right now. I'm using the seller's debt. They already got the loan to finance the buyer. I'm getting a little cut on the middle of it, right? So is it hard? Depends on whose money you use. If you go, I don't know. Dan?
Um, it depends what state you're in. So if you're in New York State, you're screwed 5 to 10 years. If you're in Florida, 3 years, right? It all depends what state you're in. The state dictates the time that it's going to take you to get that property back. There's a
Well, Dan,
question here.
huh?
It says from Gabe, I'm not talking about from the investor's point of view. I'm speaking from the point of view of a regular buyer. If you're a regular buyer and you have equity in the property and you want to pull that equity out, then you do a refinancing and you pay off the first mortgage, but know that the
You
first
could.
mortgage was never in your name. It didn't even come up on your credit. Versus when you do that refinancing, now that mortgage is going to be in your name, which is going to be on your credit report, which is going to reduce your borrowing power.
Yep. You don't want that. Dude, you do not want to refinance the subject to. Listen, make sure if you're not yet, get on our mailing list. Just go below, sign up for the either if you're a landlord or looking to be a landlord, join the Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide, or there's another link below if you want to just get on our email list. So I'm going to be doing a class subject to. Dan, we got to figure out how to incorporate the sub two part into the Ultimate Landlord. Ultimate Landlord Guide. I think it could be really beneficial. You know.
I think so too. Guys, call in with your questions. We have a few minutes left. 757
Few more
204
minutes. We're gone.
1332. 757 204 1332. Chris, if you don't mind, bring up the website again. It's on my just bring up it's on the bottom of my picture. DanChrisDeal.com. Guys, if you want to become an ultimate landlord warrior, if you truly want to know, everyone's out here teaching you how to buy this property, how to renovate the property, how to finance this property, even the burst strategy, which in my opinion, I don't think they do a very good job of teaching that. Um,
Nasty.
but no one's teaching you where the rubber really meets the road, which is now how do you manage that property, right? Even
Mhm.
if you hire a managing company, you need to manage that manager, right? And how do you know if that manager is doing the right thing? You don't know unless you've actually been in it and you got your ass kicked like Chris and I have for so many years, right? So if you truly want to learn how to manage that property, lower your capex expense, increase your cash flow, create higher tenant satisfaction, decrease your tenant turnover, right? What is the monthly maintenances that you should be doing to prevent your capex expense? Just go to danchrisdeal.com and sign up for the wait list. It's going to be a mastermind class. We're starting at the end of next month. We're going to start calling people when you get a call from us, right? Because we want to interview you. We want to make sure that you're prepared for this. We're only going to take 30 people for this class. That's it, just 30, right? If you're interested in being in the room with Dan and Chris, you'll get a call from Dan and Chris, not our team member. The people you see on this screen are the people that are going to be calling you, right? So get yourself on that list, danchrisdeal.com.
That's right. In the video description, if you don't have it right there. Call in. We got 5 more minutes. Dan, anything you want to talk about here, brother?
So I'm looking up here, a lot. What I starting to get, Chris, one of the top questions I've been getting on my social media is, will the housing market conditions shift meaningful in 2026? What are your thoughts?
I think from what I'm seeing, it's just leveling off. But I think based on the incomes, I think landlords are going to really, really be fighting for tenants. And that's why position, Dan, I don't even feel it. Well, because, all right, when we started this thing, right, I need y'all to get this. We don't depend on stable conditions to survive. We do not depend on running our business at the optimum level. Why? Because I deal with Section 8 tenants. I deal with developmental disabled tenants, right? So these are a niche or niche, whatever. This is a specific specialty that I deal with. And it's always going to be enough Section 8 tenants. I have people beating down my doors to get in here. I just don't open it to the open market where I don't understand. People just don't want to deal with the government, Dan. What is it? And I get it with you. I know where you at. We're not talking about in New York.
Yeah, I mean, look, in general, I don't have a problem with Section 8. And I feel bad for Section 8 tenants in bad Section 8 states. So, like in New York, when I call up Section 8, the phone will ring for 45 minutes.
Yes.
And when they pick up with an attitude. They're mad that you actually had the audacity to hold on until they picked up. Then they put you on hold. Then they come back 30 minutes later, and they're mad that you actually had the audacity to stay on hold for 30 minutes. Then they don't want to answer your questions because they seem to feel that you're bothering them. Right? Now, when I have a problem with Section 8 in Jersey or Florida, they're very accommodating. I email that caseworker. They email me right back. They're very pleasant to talk to. I have
Which
no
is how
issue.
it should be.
Yeah, it's so in New York City, it's not the tenant's not the problem. Section 8 office is the problem, right? So my Section 8 tenants go through the same rigorous background checks and everything else as everyone else, with the exception, of course, with the income, because Section 8's paying it, not them. So their income can be less, right? Um, but again, I don't have a problem with Section 8. During the pandemic, Section 8 landlords, they were good. They had no worries. If you weren't a Section 8 landlord during the pandemic, man, you were sweating it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking. You asked me. I'm like, damn. I think that the government is going to be really leaning on landlords like us to help provide housing for the people that are low income. I really feel that. I don't know about you.
I don't everywhere but here, everywhere but
Yeah.
New York, with the new mayor coming in, landlords are the bad guys, right? And
That's
and
weird.
I want to say something politically. The politicians keep blaming us.
I was going to ask you about that. Why y'all to get so bad when taxes are going up, insurance going up, cost of goods, everything's going up, but they don't say anything but to y'all.
Right. So, let's take New York City, for instance. Mondami's, who's coming in as mayor, he's going to put out several thousand new enforcement agents out there. So, and he's going to increase the fines for violations. So, right now, if sanitation supervisor drives by my building and the lid is a little bit off the top of the garbage can, it's a $50 fine. Well, that fine
Wow.
is going to go up to $150, supposedly.
Hold up. That's on the tenant to do. You can't control that.
Nope. Your problem because you own the building. Right? If the snow's not immediately shoveled within so many hours, that's another fine. But that fine's also going up. Any little thing that you have with the buildings department. I remember walking in for a hearing, man. I was just watching other people's hearing, and everything starts at $5,000. It was like no 1,500, no 3,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So that's going up, right? So if you have more enforcement agents and then give it, because they have to meet a quota, so they're gonna give you a bullshit violation just to meet their own quota.
Mm.
So if you have more enforcement agents, and he already said he's going to increase the real estate taxes, but you want to freeze my rents.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I,
nasty.
I was just having that discussion with a tenant on Friday. She was asking my thoughts. And I said, and she's been my tenant for about 8 years. And I said, you're not going to get the same service you currently been accustomed to. She goes, what does that mean? I said, if he raises my rent, my water and sewer charges, and increases everything, all the other fees that they have, and impose more regulation, my overhead goes up. So
Mm.
if I can't raise your rents to cover my overhead, so
Something
instead
got to get cut.
of coming once a month, he's going to come once a year. Instead of the building hallways getting cleaned twice a week, they're going to get cleaned once every 3 months,
Mm.
right? Instead of me, replacing the roof right away, I'm just going to do a patch up job and hope it doesn't leak. But when it leaks, you're going to have a stain. You know,
Mm.
Instead of me just replacing your appliances when they break if they're 8 years old, I'm just going to have it repaired. You're not getting a new appliance.
Mm.
So who suffers? The
That's
tenant's going to
nasty.
have to suffer. Because by the way, people, my house is paid for. My house is in great shape. I'm still going to live good.
Wow, man. You can't let these people put you on the street, Dan. I'm glad you got to be in the right. This real estate is all about position. Dan, are you familiar with Rock says NYC SEMA process trying to refi her parents' property, his or her parent, but in order to avoid the $15,000 charge for the recording taxes? Damn. Again, what I need the bank to comply with during the process, not responsive. Explain.
So if I understand this correctly, and I may not be understanding it correctly. So when I refinance a property in New York City, let's say I have a current mortgage, right? When I went and got that mortgage, I had to pay the recording tax for that mortgage, and I forget what it is in the state of New York. I think it's maybe point zero. I forget what it is. Actually, Chris, you can look it up. Uh, how much is the recording tax in the state of New York for a mortgage to record a mortgage? Um, so what happens is if I'm refinancing with the same bank, some banks will say you got to pay that recording fee again. And my argument is, why am I paying the recording fee if it's with the same bank? Some banks will maneuver and figure out how to get around that. Some banks will not because it's easy for them not to. Now, if I'm going to a different bank, let's say my original mortgage is with Santander, and I'm going to Chase Bank, I'm going to have to pay for that new recording for that mortgage because it's with a different bank. It's a whole new mortgage.
It's
And then
1.9%, dog.
1.9%. There you go.
Good God. That's $2,000 for every 100,000.
Yep.
So, and where the average price is what, $1 million. I mean, that's
Mhm.
20,000.
You got it.
Did you give him anything, Dan, or
Welcome to
does he
New
got to
York
pay it?
State.
Huh?
Welcome to New York State.
So does Rock 7968 just got to pay it? Don't they have an exemption for somebody over 65 or something?
Not that let's. You know what? I got to tell you, I haven't done a. I haven't. I have no mortgages, people. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying it because I want everyone here to understand it is possible, but it takes a long time to get there. I stayed the course because I'm a long-term visionary person,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's been a long time since I had to do any financing. Why are there no New York City organizations testifying about this in the city council? So Gotham is an organization that just started up. It's run by HL Dynasty. The guy's got over 100 properties in New York City. He is. If you're interested in that, send me a DM or an email, and I'll be more than happy to send you his contact information.
Nasty, nasty
New York
casino.
City is not landlord friendly state. Absolutely, it isn't. It's up there with California, Washington, Oregon. Like that's why I'm saying if I could do this, I'm in the toughest one of the Top 3 toughest cities to be a landlord in.
What is it,
I don't
Cali?
go to court, people, because I have a process of picking the right tenants. You want to learn this business from people that actually been doing it. Chris been doing this since 2004. Let me
And
show
we
you.
love our tenants.
Let me
We
tell
love our
you.
tenants,
Yeah,
y'all.
let me tell you the workbook you get. This is the workbook you guys are going to get. This is the workbook you guys are going to get, right? 140 pages on here. Type in the word, just go to dankrisdeal.com, dankrisdeal.com, and sign up for the wait list. We're only going to take 30 people. We're only going to take 30 people. That's it.
All right, that's it, Dan.
Thank you.
Somebody got a quick question. One more question with Don on Instagram. Rent Ruler, what's up? When you do a sub-2 with someone, do you get your own liability insurance on the property as the buyer? Or do you get your own homeowner's insurance? That's the same thing, I thought. Yes, we get our own. Well, I don't know. Okay, if you're buying a property that has no equity, like the one we just did, I'm not even going to worry about insurance. If it burns down, I got nothing in it. I spent no money, 10 grand. But if I got $200,000-$300,000 of equity, you're damn right I'm gonna have another policy. Okay. All right. Dan, it's an honor. I'll see you soon. All right. Peace.
Chris, you got to let me know what that text I sent you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
I need to know like ASAP. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking.